Today I want to share the frightening facts about the human selling of the organs in the black market. Nearly 100,000 organs were bought in the black market in 2010. A sign that the illegal trade is booming according to the World Health Organization. A common place, I'm going to tell you guys about the common places where the organs are sold, why people sell them or buy them, and what happens to the people that are taken against their will. The black market of human organ selling is illegal everywhere except for Iran. New York Times says that some of the common places is India, China, Brazil, and the Philippines, and the Europeans are also increasing. A quote from the World Health Organization analysts note, until recently, organs have typically come from India, China, the Philippines, and Brazil. In a study of organ donors in India, it was found that 71% of the donors fell below the poverty line, which brings me to my next point. The reason why people sell their organs or just sell them, is quote from newAnswer.com, is when you need to put food on the table, selling a kidney does not really seem much of a sacrifice. So people suffering from poverty line are the ones that usually sell their organs. And usually it's mostly the males, because females are not really, like, you can say not qualified to give an organ, because males are more likely to, the male's organ are more likely to be more, like the patient that gets the organ from them are more able to like respond better with the organ that they get. As you can see right here, they take up people's kidneys. And the desperate wealthy people who will do anything to survive are usually the ones that buy off the organs from the poor. And the thing is that when they sell it, people will get like $800, and the people that sell it, the organ that they got, sell it for like $200,000. And usually people will get so desperate to the point that they start selling their, advertising their organs online. And pretty much this is how people start taking advantage of them, which brings me to my next point. There was a story about a man that he was going to sell his kidney, but the government ended up taking him away, started torturing him, and ended up stealing his organs, and they just found his dead body with like $500 next to it. The next picture is kind of gory, not really, but see? And to lighten things up, there was a funny article that I found about a Chinese boy in foxnews.com. He's a high school boy. His name is Sir Man Wang. He sold his kidney for $3,500, and just without his parents knowing, just to buy himself an iPhone or an iPad. And due to this, he is now suffering from kidney failure and his health is deteriorating, all because he didn't take care of himself. So don't sell your kidneys to buy an iPad. Even though organ selling is illegal, people are still doing it, and the common places is China, India, Brazil, and the Philippines. This happens mostly to the people in poverty, and it will continue to happen with the wealthy people being out there. It will continue to happen because wealthy people want to buy the kidneys or the organs so they can live longer. And for the unfortunate people, they will still be taken against their will.
You have your outline, your question, and your purpose statement. Because I don't have any of those things. I just have the
Yeah, I have it.
eval form.
You want me to staple these together?
No, that's okay. All right, Lindsay, what did you think?
I thought that, like, you seemed nervous, but you, like, introduced it well. There wasn't much of an attention grabber or anything, but you kind of, like, previewed what you were going to talk about well. The visual aids were I think they were very effective, and you incorporated them with your talking. The only thing is that I felt like you were kind of jumping around a lot with all these stories. I was kind of confused of what your point was. You were, like, kept saying, this brings to my next point, but I wasn't really sure what it was. You cited your sources really well, but also, like, there were the time issues, kind of short. But I think you, like, did your research and you, like, presented it, like, pretty well and everything, so.
Okay, yeah, this is the second speech in a row that we start with the topic statement instead of an attention device. That's a little bit awkward. The topic is clearly identified and we know what your thesis is. I think you do okay. I think all you needed to do was maybe start off with those statistics about how many organs are actually sold each year. And I think you do need to give us a little bit more context on the story here, that the selling of these organs are by living donors who are selling their organs for the most part. You can also talk about the exploitation of people or potential, killing people to steal their organs if you want to, but you're going to have to phrase that as a separate point, I think, in the body of the speech. Some of the examples don't get particularly well developed. For example, you do refer to that one guy who was apparently listed his organs, and then the cops came in and arrested him, and they tortured him and apparently stole all of his organs. I'd like to know where that was, so I'd never visit there. Because it sounds to me like the cops there aren't all that reliable, and I certainly wouldn't want to be advertising on Craigslist for any assistance in that particular location of the world. I think it's one of those things where, like I said, I think the stories are dropped in, but they're not always complete. And sometimes you talk about an idea and it's not filled out. To me, the clearest part of the speech was when you were talking about how people are selling their kidneys for money, and you have that picture that shows all those guys lined up where they had their kidneys removed. You talk about how they are poverty-stricken. You've got information about how much they're getting for those kidneys and how the demand is going on there. And I think there ought to be a little bit of discussion, because it doesn't look like that was in Iran, which is the one place where it's legal. It's someplace else that's going on. So I was wondering, okay, how did they find all these people who are doing something illegal, get them to pose for a picture, and why is it that they don't know who it is that is buying those organs, which is illegal, and those people aren't being prosecuted? It seems like you got a lot of information on the illegal activity here. I don't know how that came about. Excuse me. No, it's not coming. It'll show up in a second, I'm sure. Like I said, I like that first picture. I thought that was pretty effective. I needed, like I said, also a little bit more context in all of the stories. The pictures were fine. The one showing the listing on the internet was interesting. What I was interested in knowing, though, is how many people are donating organs that are live donors, that are willing donors, that are getting paid, versus what you kind of talk about. Maybe there's this criminal element where people are being taken in order to get their organs, and then you've got the one picture that you're showing of somebody obviously whose organ donation was a lot more extensive, and that may in fact be what killed him. That just seemed a little bit awkward. I think you're rushing a little bit through the presentation, and one of the places that you can see that you're rushing is as you move through the points. The transitions really seem to be like, and another thing, or next, and it just feels like you're not fluently moving through the speech. It's like you're skipping through the presentation, and you need to be a little bit more moderate in your pacing. It's only 4.5 minutes, so you have plenty of time, and I think you can give more explanation in that time too. All right, thank you.